Subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel now. At Blind Community Thrift Store on YouTube, and more info about this radio reading service, Navalins, and the Blind Community Thrift Store at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. The Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service will begin shortly. We will be reading local news from around the Southwest Missouri area, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on YouTube, KSMU, and on the Audio Reader Network at Kansas University. For more information, please visit us at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. Please stay tuned as our broadcast will start soon. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on our.
Do you want to read the intro today?
You can.
All right. You think you can put your phone away? I'll put mine away.
Yes. The time is.
Hang on. Thank you for tuning in to the Blind Community Thrift Store radio reading service. My name is Savannah, and I'm here with Madison.
Hey.
We invite you to listen to our broadcast both live and on demand. Our live sessions are available on the Blind Community Thrift Store YouTube channel Monday to Friday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. each week. Additionally, you can access on-demand content through the Audio Reader Network, which offers a wide range of audio materials for the visually impaired community. To explore content from the Audio Reader Network, please visit www.reader.ku.edu. The site provides details about accessing content via Amazon Alexa, Audio Reader Network mobile app, Audio Reader Network mobile app, and information on receiving a radio to listen to the broadcast by KSMU Radio. All broadcasts are played over KSMU subcarrier airwaves at 67 kHz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. First up, Madison with the weather.
From the Ozarks first, today's forecast is going to be cool and cloudy today with rain tomorrow. This is by Tom Schmidt. Did I say it right?
Mhm.
This morning is starting beautifully with temperatures in the 60s out the door. Skies are clear for the morning, but clouds will increase by midday as leftover rain from Kansas fades away near the state line. Dang it.
How about you give it a shot, Madison?
You're better at describing things than I
So-
am. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So there's a graphic that reads most accurate forecast satellite/radar. And it shows what Madison was describing with leftover rain clouds moving from Kansas to Missouri.
And it shows the current time being 4:15 a.m.
Mhm.
The area should stay dry today thanks to low instability and a dry air mass in place, but a few sprinkles can't be ruled out west of Highway 65. Temperatures will be cool again in the low 80s with a light breeze throughout the day. Now there's two pictures. The first picture shows the morning planner, and it shows all the temperatures from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and what the weather, not, yes, they are showing the temperatures, but it's showing, like, is it going to be comfortable enough? Is there going to be mild?
How about you read it straight off?
All right. 7 a.m., 69 degrees and comfortable. 9 a.m., 73 degrees with increasing clouds. 11 a.m. is 77, mild and calm. 1 p.m. is 81, mostly cloudy. And 3 p.m. is 82, mostly cloudy. And the picture next to that is a most accurate forecast for today. And it shows the entire state of Springfield with,
Missouri.
or not Springfield, Missouri. And it shows a tiny split of it on the upper left corner, top upper left corner, with it being covered in green, indicating rainfall, with the majority of the temperatures being in the 80s. Tonight will be mild in the upper 60s, with Friday morning likely beginning to be dry. But rain showers will quickly move in from the east with a passing storm system. The storm is weak, so severe weather isn't expected. However, locally heavy rain could lead to flooding. Sorry. Especially if north of Highway 60, local heavy rain could lead to flooding, especially north of Highway 60. But it won't rain all day. But there will be hit or miss showers, and storms are likely as we go through the afternoon and into Friday evening. Now there's a three panels of a picture.
Panels.
And it shows the two on top show most accurate forecast, and it shows the rainfall. sweeping across the map, and by 6 a.m., it's above north, the rain.
On Friday at 6 a.m., the rainfall is north of Missouri.
However, at 12 p.m. on the same day, it will go down a bit to the south. Can you take a look at this? Would that be heading down south or west?
At 12 p.m. on Friday, it'll be heading west, having moved through the upper half of Missouri.
And the picture on the bottom of those last two pictures shows most accurate forecast for tomorrow, with it being scattered rain. It shows the state of Missouri with the most of the top in green, with West Plains, Harrison, and Mountain Home blank.
Out of the green.
Blank as in out of the green is what I meant. The majority of Missouri is going to be in the rain area. The rain shuts down Friday night with just a few showers lingering to the southeast of Springfield Saturday morning. Cloudy skies will clear away by the afternoon and temperatures will get warmer. A ridge of high pressure will quickly build up. Not quickly build up. It will quickly build back into the Ozarks through Saturday and into Sunday, and temperatures this weekend will be hot and our humidity will tick up as well. Now the last two pictures for this article shows most accurate forecast, hot and humid ahead for the first picture, with Saturday being in the upper 91s and low 72, with the weather clouds clear, getting hot. Sunday is 96 degrees with the low of 74, and it's going to be hot and humid. And Monday will be also hot and humid, but it will be in the upper 97 to 76 degrees in the lower section. The next picture next to the other one I mentioned earlier is Heat Dome Strikes Back, and it shows the weather for Monday as a heat dome is crossing its way through the U.S.
There's a heat dome sitting in the center of the U.S., just above Texas, but it is engulfing the majority of the U.S., including Missouri.
However, states like New York or Vermont are untouched.
Northeastern states are outside of the
That's what I said. Those ones are not in the heat and humidity will strengthen next week as the ridge invades the area even more. Expect temperatures in the upper 90s to start next week, with feel-like temperatures up to 110 are possible. Dang. That's it for that article.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, Bookmarks hosting week-long grand opening for expanded store. The downtown bookshop has knocked down a wall and expanded into the space that used to be occupied by Austin Boutique. Article by Brian Smoot. The article starts with a photo outside of the store Bookmarks. It is taken at an angle so that the sign that sticks out from the brick wall is taking center point, with a photo of a drawn recreation of Marx, Karl Marx, the philosopher, as well as bookmarks underneath, and a side view of the window that says bookmarks, new, eat closed books. Photo by Jack McGee. Bookmarks, a downtown Springfield bookshop located at 325 East Walnut Street, will have a week-long grand opening for its expanded store, beginning Friday evening, July 24th. According to previous reporting, Bookmarks has taken over the property directly to the east that used to house Austin Boutique, which closed in April. The wall between the two stores has been knocked down. With the added space, Bookmarks is offering an expanded children's section as well as plenty more books. This year, Bookmarks also started doing movie rentals with Mr. Gugorium's Movie Emporium, which is named after the late shop's cat, Googie. A ribbon cutting will take place at the store Friday at 5 p.m. with the assistance of Mr. Cyrano, the newest shop cat. Though it is unclear how the feline will perform this action without opposable thumbs, the ribbon cutting will nonetheless usher in a week full of events and celebration, which will start with an opening party on Friday following the ceremony. Party attendees are encouraged to dress up as their favorite author or literary character and send a postcard.
Oh, I
Don't-
hate being gassy. Sorry.
It's okay. Donations of household items will be collected for the Kitchen Incorporated, a Springfield nonprofit dedicated to providing emergency shelter, case management, and housing assistance. Literary events are planned for week following grand opening. According to the store's social media, here is a lineup of events. On Saturday, June 25th at 5:30 p.m., there will be a local author case. Authors in attendance will be Andrew Dietz, Mar the Ghost, Daniel Cochran, Eltha Thompson, Andy Kern, and Eve Peregrine. On Wednesday, July 29th, the store will host an inaugural Footnote Saloon to discuss residents' ideas for improving Springfield at 7 p.m. A book club on Yesteryear, a novel by Carl Claire Burke, will take place on Thursday, July 30th at 7 p.m. Friday, July 31st will bring author Devin Thomas O'Shea. O'Shea? Apologies.
Here, let me see.
I think I got it.
Okay.
To Bookmarks to discuss The Veiled Prophet, a new book about secret society that had major influence on St. Louis for over a century. The discussion will begin at 7 p.m. Saturday, August 1st, will bring the week to a close with Saturday Stories with David Harrison, a children's author and poet based in Springfield. Harrison is Drury's poet laureate and was in Missouri's from 2023 to 2025. And that is the end of that article.
Who? Devin who?
How would I save the article for after?
Sorry.
It's okay.
It just sounded like a celebrity name for just the way you said it.
Let's get going.
What was it again?
From the
Springfield Business Journal. Jinx. Sorry.
SBJ sets up with a new home.
In the John Q. Hammond's building. Okay. All right. This is by the SBJ staff.
Can you describe the picture, please?
Oh, sorry. The John Q. Hammond's building in question shows, I'm not sure what type of building to describe it. It's not a school, but it looks like kind of like you would see in New York, like an office building.
So the picture is the front, outside the front of the John Q. Hammond's building, where you can see there's a small courtyard with bushes in the center, two flags on either side of the entrance, one of the Missouri flag, one of the American flag, and the lawn has been freshly mowed. All right, would you like to start reading?
Springfield Business Journal has found its new headquarters after a year-long search. SBJ, which operates under SBJ Media, is now located at 300 South. 300 South?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, 300 South, John Q. Hammond's Parkway, in the John Q. Hammond's building. Finding the right permanent home has been an important step for our organization, said Marty Goodnight, owner and publisher of SBJ Media, in a news release. like every business, we spent this year making thoughtful decisions about where to invest our resources. Jeepers, sorry. This office strengthens collaboration, supports our team, and reflects our long term commitment to serving Springfield's business company, or not company, community. SBJ previously was located in Chesterfield Village, and the company started looking for a new home about a year ago, according to a past reporting, but didn't leave Chesterfield until the end of 2025. It's a return to the downtown area for SBJ, which relocated in 2019 to Chesterfield Village. Prior to that move, downtown was the company's home for nearly 40 years. The previous headquarters was at 313 Parkwood Central West. We believe it's important to be where business happens, Goodnight said in the release. Downtown Springfield is the center of so much of our region's economic, right?
Yes, you got it.
All right, activity. Being here strengthens our connection to the community and creates an environment where our team can collaborate, innovate.
See, do you mind pointing to it?
Innovate.
Yep, you got it.
INNOVATE.
You got it. You got it. We can keep going.
Okay, just asking.
No, you got it. Awesome.
Okay. It'll create an environment where teams can collaborate, innovate, and better serve our readers, advertisers, and business partners. Nice. According to the release, the move reduced,
Occupancy.
okay, I know that word, I just didn't know how to say it.
It's okay.
Okay, so occupancy,
Mm-hmm.
okay, costs more than 50%. Details on costs associated with the move and lease agreement were undisclosed. Goodnight, the lease agreement were undisclosed, Goodnight told SBJ's newsroom. Oops, sorry.
How about we just gently pass?
Yeah. That's
From-
from that article.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, Amendment 4 would make it tougher for citizen-led constitutional amendments to pass in Missouri. Proponents of Amendment 4 say it would limit out-of-state influence on the Missouri Constitution and ensure statewide support. Opponents say it would effectively kill the citizen-led initiative petition process, which is already difficult enough. Article written by Joe Hadzall. The article starts with a photo of a petition worker asking for voters to sign a petition on the Missouri State University campus in Springfield on February 5th, 2024. A man is holding a petition. He is wearing a backpack and a flannel as he is talking to another student wearing a red backpack and holding her phone as she looks at the petition.
What'd you say, a flannel? Is that like a type of clothing?
I said flannel.
A flannel, what is that, like a backpack?
So a flannel is a type of either overshirt or a shirt.
Okay, so
How
an
about we look
outfit.
up? How about we look up the question on the computer?
Yeah, I got it, but in short, it's an outfit.
Yes,
Go. I can look it up later. We got Google.
Mm-hmm. Amendment 4 on the August 4th ballot asks Missouri voters to place additional limits on the legal process that allows citizens to amend the state constitution through initiative petition and statewide election. Supporters say that the additional limits are important to keep outside interests from influencing Missouri's politics and to ensure citizen-led changes to the Constitution have overwhelming statewide support. Opponents say the state's initiative petition process is already difficult to achieve and remains the only way to go around the legislature when it is unresponsive to popular ideas. They say Amendment 4 would make the process virtually impossible. In recent history, Missouri voters have legalized recreational marijuana use, raised the minimum wage, legalized sports gambling, restored abortion rights, and expanded Medicaid eligibility through ballot decisions brought through the initiative petition process. Each of those issues was passed in the face of either resistance or inaction in the state legislature, which has Republican supermajorities in both the House and Senate. The Republican-led General Assembly placed Amendment 4 on the ballot last year during a special session. Governor Mike Kehoe chose to place Amendment 4 and Amendment 5, phasing out individual income tax, on the August ballot rather than the November. The move placed two consequential measures in front of a smaller body of voters. That traditionally lean Republican, according to reporting. The move placed two consequential measures in front of the smaller body of voters that traditionally lean Republican, according to reporting from Missouri Independent. Current process requires state reviews, voter signatures. Current process requires state reviews, voter signatures. Currently, it's okay. It's okay. Have a towel.
Oops.
How about we place it right here? It's okay. It's all right. Currently, Missouri's initiative petition process calls for several steps before a measure can be placed on the ballot. A petition idea must be submitted to the Secretary of State, who works with the Attorney General and Auditor for review. Ballot language is drafted by the Secretary of State and given back to the petitioner, who can start collecting signatures. The petitioner must reach a certain number of registered voter signatures in 6 of Missouri's 8 congressional districts. That number is based on how many votes were cast in the previous gubernatorial election. I do apologize if I butchered that word. Once signatures are collected, the Secretary of State verifies each signature. If the target is met, then the issue is placed on an upcoming ballot. If a petition is successful in getting on the ballot, then it requires a simple majority vote to pass, similar to other election issues and candidate races. Amendment 4 would place new limits on the election part of the process. If Amendment 4 passes, successful citizen petitions, constitutional amendments would require a majority vote in each of the state's 8 congressional districts. The failure to reach a majority in only one district would overrule majorities in the other 7. The new limit would apply only to citizen petitioned amendments, not constitutional amendments proposed by the legislature. Supporters say Missouri's law is too lax. The article is broken up by another photo of the vote partition seen in local voting areas. That is the white board with the American flag and the word vote on it to block views of others from seeing one another's vote. Photo by Shannon Kay. Missouri is one of 18 states across the country that has initiative petition process. Garrett Hawkins, president of the Missouri Farm Bureau, said that reforming Missouri's process to amend the Constitution has been a goal of the Bureau's membership for about 40 years. As far back as the 80s, they could see that our process was lax enough, Hawkins said, that there could be abuses, or they could envision a time when there would be things in the Constitution that perhaps shouldn't be in the framework for government. The Bureau has also used the process to pass legislation in favors. In 1980, then businessman Mel Hancock rallied the Bureau for help in passing what is now known as the Hancock Amendment, a cap on revenue that can be raised through taxes. In making his case in favor of Amendment 4, Hawkins pointed to the recent decisions to legalize marijuana for recreational use, something the Bureau opposed. The petition came with a structure of legislation that was effectively written by marijuana companies. He said, similar industries backed other measures, he said. There is a playbook that is often used when it comes to our constitutional amendments, and it uses the initiative petition process, Hawkins said. Those are going to profit pen their own language. Then they pay signature gatherers, often to just canvass Kansas City, St. Louis, Columbia, Springfield, the major population centers. Then they pump millions of dollars into slick ad campaigns. That playbook is something that the legislature wants to rip up, Lewis said. Lewis said in 2025 that it should be more difficult for people outside Missouri to have a hand in amending its constitution. Do you want partisan issues to be going into the Constitution, whether it be ultra-conservative or ultra-liberal, Lewis said, according to reporting from KCUR? Or do we want something that has a broad consensus of all Missourians could support change in the Constitution? That's what I want. Opponents say the change is too drastic. The article is broken up by another photo of two individuals sitting behind a desk as they face the rest of the room while sitting in front of a whiteboard. And behind them are three chairs that have three signs on them that say vote August 14th, no on 4, protect majority rule, as in majority. This photo was taken on Friday, July 17th, 2026. Photo by Jen Wilson. While Amendment 4 sees some organized groups in support of it, a larger number of groups have formed in opposition. In a nutshell, they argue that Amendment 4 imposes an unreasonable majority requirement in that one oppositional vote from one district can overrule 7 supportive districts across the rest of the state. It will take only one congressional district in the state to defeat a ballot issue that may be received well by a statewide majority, said Joan Gentry of the League of Women Voters of Southwest Missouri. How unfair that concept is to the idea of one person, one vote, and to direct democracy. The League of Women Supporters, the League of Women Voters has supported the citizen petition process as it is, Gentry says, and opposes Amendment 4's change. There's another photo of Joan Gentry as she speaks on behalf of the League of Women Voters, sitting next to a gentleman. Both of them are wearing blue as they face the cameras, talking to a crowd. Joan seems to be mid-word as she is talking. This photo was taken Friday, July 17th, 2026 in Springfield by Jen Wilson. Another group that wants to leave the process alone is the Missouri Association of Realtors, which is combining efforts to oppose Amendments 4 and 5 in 2016. The association used the citizen petition process to pass a measure that bans new sales taxes on most services. The sales tax banned by the 2016 constitutional amendment can be undone by Amendment 5. Officials with the association note that the 2016 measure would not have passed if Amendment 4 had been in place. According to reporting from the Missouri Independent, a loss by 31,500 votes in one district would have doomed a measure that passed by more than 375,000 votes across the state. The association held an informational session Friday, July 17th, and featured voices representing real estate, labor, and voting. Gentry was one of the speakers. Todd Thomas, a realtor and member of the association, is a Springfield resident who has traveled to Kansas City to advocate for the amendment's defeat. He said that the citizen-led constitutional amendment process should be left alone, even when it deals with issues he opposes. I've been involved in initiatives that I believed in, such as stopping transfer taxes on real property and stopping taxes on labor, Thomas said. I do not like the sports betting one. Didn't vote for that. But you win some, you lose some. I'm not going to give up the right to be able to have my say. There is a photo of realtor Todd Thomas as he speaks with a reporter following the conference. He's wearing a yellow shirt as he looks off camera talking to said reporter. Photo by Jen Wilson. As for the amendment's ability to keep away out-of-state influence, Gentry noted a bit of hypocrisy from Jefferson City. While Gov. Kehoe argues Amendment 4 is needed to keep away out-of-state funding and influence, a group campaigning for Amendment 5 has accepted almost $2 million from a Delaware-based nonprofit, according to reporting from ProPublica. I would basically say people should check into the financing of all the issues that come before them, Gentry said. The work to each measure is done in the state of Missouri, and you will find the financing for that work comes in from various organizations for all the petitions, regardless of which groups are supporting them. Opponents have outspent supporters. Campaigns for and against Amendment 4 and 5 have drawn millions. While fundraising for Amendment 5 is skewed in favor of supporters, Amendment 4's opponents have way outspent supporters, according to the Missouri Independent. Ballot language. According to the Secretary of State's website, the following text is what voters will see at the polls when asked how to vote on Amendment 4. A yes vote will amend the Missouri Constitution to modify current requirements of Article 3 and Article 4 that a simple statewide majority of voters may approve initiative petitions to amend the Constitution. Require a majority of voters and each congressional district to approve initiative petitions to amend the Constitution and make available to each voter the full text of initiative petitions with their ballot. A no vote will not amend the Missouri Constitution to require majority approval in each congressional district for initiative petitions to amend the Constitution or make available the full text of initiative petitions with the ballot. If passed, the measure will not increase or decrease taxes. That is the end of that article.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, answer man, what is going on with these young teens riding around in golf carts? This is by Steve Pokin. The article starts off with a picture of a yellow. I can't even describe a road sign.
Madison. So it sounds like you know what it is. A yellow road sign
With a person sitting in a golf cart. A golf cart crossing road sign.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Would you like to start reading?
Yes. On the bottom text, it's a photo from Wikimedia Commons, and the reader wants to know what the rules are for driving a golf cart on a city street. First off, Answerman says this: does Springfield have a policy regarding golf carts on city streets? I'm in the Ravenwood neighborhood, and see the number growing. Often, the driver appears to be too young to drive a car. Last night, we observed a family with young children on the back. Hopefully, there were seatbelts. And this was said by Christy Saner.
Christy Saner.
Yeah. No sooner had you asked this question, Christy, than I spotted a young teen behind the wheel of a golf cart only a few blocks from where I live in Southern Hills. Ravenwood, for the record, is in southeast Springfield, south of East Republic Road, and several block north of Lake Springfield Park. For the answer, I went to Chris Waters, police spokesperson, the same person I reached out when I was asked a year ago what the rules are for e-scooters. First of all, she says, to drive a golf cart on a public street, you'll need a driver's license. Second, driving a golf cart on a public street in Springfield is not prohibited by city ordinance.
Yep.
State law allows
municipalities
to regulate whether to permit golf carts on city streets, but Springfield does not have an ordinance allowing or prohibiting them. So if police were to stop somebody driving a golf cart on a city street, she says there would be no
municipal
ordinance. I say it once and I forget how to say it again.
Okay.
For which a licensed driver could be cited. Okay. The article continues with, they need brakes, lights, mirrors, turn signals, and a muffler. So turn the golf cart into a car. By the state statute?
Statute?
Okay. I thought that was a typo.
Okay.
By the state statute, golf carts are prohibited from operating on state and federal highways, including all state maintained roadways. State law weighs in on what the requirements are for a golf cart to operate on a city street. They need working they need working brakes, lights, mirrors, turn signals, and a muffler. Yes, Swatter says. Springfield does have an ordinance mirroring those requirements. The city classifies golf carts as motorized vehicles. That's why the driver must have a driver's license. Therefore, Swatter says, the city
The city classifies?
No, it says the city can. Like,
there's a typo. It says the city can issue
the city can issue a
Citation.
If a young, unlicensed driver is operating a golf cart on a city street, even with the permission of their parents.
That is the end of that article.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. From the Springfield Daily Citizen, elevator fails again at Jenny Lind Hall after 2-year outage. No timeline for repairs. Owner Millennia Company said it is working with the elevator contractor to ensure these issues are fully resolved and to achieve a permanent solution. The company did not give an estimated timeline for repairs. Article written by Ryan Collins. The article starts with an outside photo of Jenny Lind Hall. It shows the entrance with the overhang, tan overhang, and in green letters it says Jenny Lind Hall 711. This photo is by Shannon Kay. Jenny Lind Hall residents, including many seniors and people with disabilities, waited nearly 2 years for the building's owner, Ohio-based the Millennia Companies, to repair an elevator. In February 2026, the elevator finally returned to service. 5 months later, the elevator has once again been going out of service, according to an emailed statement from Millennia on July 22nd. The company said it was working with the elevator contractor to ensure these issues are fully resolved and to achieve a permanent solution. The company did not give an estimated timeline for repairs. Millennia said it was in communication with the city of Springfield about the elevator issues. Jenny Lind Hall, located at 711 South Jefferson Avenue, is a federally subsidized 6-story apartment building for seniors and individuals with disabilities. Millennia purchased that just over 58,000 square foot complex in 2015. Jenny Lind has 2 elevators in February. In February, one was returned to service and the second remained out of service. The Cleveland-based company said it interested more than $600,000 into a comprehensive modernization project for Jenny Lind Hall's elevators earlier in 2026. Since that work was completed, intermittent operational issues have continued to occur, Millennia said in the emailed statement. The safety and well-being of our residents remain our top priority. We're committed to restoring reliable elevator service as quickly as possible, and we appreciate our residents' patience on the work as the work continues. Martin Gugel, Springfield's Director of Building Development Services, confirmed Wednesday the elevator has not been working properly and explained some of the issues. The elevator is going in and out of service, Gugel said in an emailed statement. The current problems with the elevator at Jenny Lind are related to the elevator mechanical room on the roof overheating. This causes the elevator systems to shut down whenever maximum temperatures are exceeded. Gugel said Millennia was the first to alert the city to the issues a few weeks ago. Millennia said the problems have been ongoing since the repair was finalized earlier this year. Gugel said the contractor, TK Elevator, is the only company that can work on the elevator without voiding the warranty. The contractor has been made aware of the issue and is responsible for addressing the inadequate cooling in the mechanical room, Gugel said. Once the cooling issue is addressed, that should solve the issue. TK Elevator has more than 1,000 locations in more than 100 countries, including a storefront in Ozark. Swetha Sharma, a spokesperson of the company, provided a statement emphasizing the building cooling issues were behind the elevator problems. TK Elevator understands the frustration in the situation is causing residents, particularly those who depend on the elevator for daily access to and from their homes. The statement read, apologies. The current outage, however, is not the result of the mechanical issue with the elevator itself. Instead, high heat in the building's elevator machine room has interfered with the proper operation of the elevator's electrical components, causing the current shutdown. We understand the building management is working with an HVAC contractor to address the condition. Upon restoration of appropriate temperatures to the machine room, TK Elevator is prepared to perform the work necessary to return the elevator to service. Here is Millennia's full statement. Millennia Housing Management understands the frustration and inconvenience the recent elevator outages have caused residents at Jenny Lind Hall. We recognize the significant impact reliable elevator service has on our residents' daily lives. Earlier this year, the elevators underwent a comprehensive modernization project representing an investment of more than $600,000. Since that work was completed, intermittent operational issues have continued to occur. We are actively working with the elevator contractor to ensure these issues are fully resolved and to achieve a permanent solution. We also remain in communication with the City of Springfield throughout the process. The safety and well-being of our residents remain our top priority. We are committed to restoring reliable elevator service as quickly as possible, and we appreciate our residents' patience as the work continues. And that is the end of that article.
From the Springfield Daily Citizen, clever names, new police chief clever names that new police chief hires more officers after turmoil in department. This is by Zoe McIntyre. There's a picture of clever police chief Daniel Walker in this photo. He's described as not described, but I can see that he has a police uniform on with his last name Walker on, his name tag says Walker, and on the bottom it says police. He has a walkie-talkie on his shoulder. He's got a badge where his name tag is. He's got a watch. I think he's holding a drink at a view, and he's behind the American flag as he's posing for the camera. Well, not posing, but
It's for a portrait, yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's not like
Yeah, it's okay. I'll make it for you.
Police, a clever police. What is SGT?
Sergeant.
Huh?
Sergeant.
Okay. Sergeant Daniel Walker has been promoted to serve as the department's chief. The city announced on Wednesday, July 22nd. Oh, so yesterday. Former Chief Randall Blackburn left the department in June after a period of turmoil in which city officials proposed disbanding the department, and later Blackburn on
Blackburn.
Yeah, on I know that word.
Administrative leave.
Yeah, I know that word too. It's just not when I say a lot.
It's okay.
Administrate it.
It's okay.
Walker has been with the department for over 2 years, according to a Facebook post from the city. He was one of 2 officers remaining with the CPD in late June. The city has been working to rehire personnel. Okay, personnel, and Clever's board of aldermen approved pay raises for officer positions in the 2026 to 27 budget. On July 21st, CPD announced it was welcoming 2 officers to the department, including one who had previously worked in Clever. The Board of Aldermen in May considered entering a contract with the Christian County Sheriff's Office, which would have effectively replaced Clever's police with sheriff's deputies. After overwhelming opposition from the public, the city announced it was keeping its police department. Walker is the Clever Police Department's 3rd chief since November of 2024.
And that is the end of that article. From the Springfield Daily Citizen, High Tide Theatrical Stages limited run of Tony-winning dark comedy God of Carnage. Written by French playwright Yasmina Reza, God of Carnage opened on Broadway in 2009, and a film adaptation was released in 2011. Article by Jeff Kissinger. The article starts with a photo of the High Tide Theatrical building that is sitting right next to Martha's Vineyard on West Olive Street in downtown Springfield. This is a photo from across the street, so it showcases both buildings in clear view. Both are brick, and Martha's has Martha's Vineyard in gold slanted writing. Photo by Ryan Collins. High Tide Theatrical is staging the Tony Award winning dark comedy God of Carnage, and there are just 4 opportunities to see it. Performances are scheduled for July 22nd to the 25th at the Lightroom Lounge at Martha's Vineyard downtown, which shows at 7:30 each day. There's also a 2 p.m. relaxed performance on July 25th. Tickets are on sale now on the High Tide theatrical website. God of Carnage begins innocently enough. 2 sets of parents meet to civilly discuss a playground scuffle between their sons, a media release from High Tide Theatrical said. But as the evening wears on, politeness gives way to raw nerves, fragile egos, and long-buried resentments, unraveling into a biting, brutally funny look at marriage, parenting, and the instinct for self-preservation lurking beneath polite society. Veteran director Clayton Avery leads a cast of 4 in the play. Adie Ames, Annette Relay, Hawk, Alan Relay, Liz Oakley, Veronica Novick, and Patrick Schuster, Michael Novak. The play runs approximately 90 minutes and is performed without intermissions. God of Carnage is rated PG-13 for strong language, adult themes, and depictions of interpersonal conflict. The play is fast, fierce, and unapologetically adult, an intimate theatrical experience that thrives in close proximity and leaves audiences laughing, squirming, and reflecting long after the final line, High Tide Theatrical said. French playwright, actress, novelist, and screenwriter Yasmina Riza published God of Carnage, Le Deux de Carnage in French in 2008. An English translation of the play debuted in London's West End later that year, and the curtain went up on the Broadway production on March 22, 2009. The West End production won Best Comedy at the 2009 Laurence Olivier Awards, while the Broadway production earned 6 Tony nominations. Reza was honored for Best Play, while Marcia Gay Harden captured Best Actress in a play, and Matthew Warchus took home Best Director of a Play. Film version, titled Carnage, was released in 2011, directed by Roman Polanski. It starred Jodie Foster, Kate Winslet, Christoph Waltz, and John C. Reilly. Foster and Winslet both earned Golden Globe nominations for Best Actress. Want to go? It will be at the High Tide Theatrical presents. It is High Tide Theatrical presents God of Carnage. When? From July 22nd to the 25th, with performances at 7:30 p.m. each night. A 2 p.m. relaxed performance is set for July 25th. Where? The Lightroom Lounge, 215 West Olive Street. Tickets are $25 for adults, $20 for students, seniors, and military, $80 for a VIP table for 2. Student Rush and College Night tickets are $15. For more information, visit the High Tide Theatrical website or follow the company on Facebook and Instagram. And that is the end of that article.
From the Springfield News Leader, Ozarks Castle owners prepare for final event with sale pending. This is by Marta Mies. The halls of a 13th century style castle just outside of Foreland in Christian County will be transformed for a masquerade ball for the last time later this year. The halls of a 13th century style castle just outside of Foreland in Christian County will be transformed for a
Masquerade ball
for the last time later this year, as the owners who built the
Chateau Charmust
say their final goodbye. The castle at 17
Sorry.
The castle at 1700 right?
1700.
Martin's Branch Road was listed for sale in mid-June for $1.5 million. Dubbed
Chateau Charmant,
French for charming castle, the fairy tale structure spans 10,400 square feet and sits on 66 acres of land. It includes a large chapel space that can hold about 200 people, a bride and groom space, 2 living suites, restrooms, and
Ample.
Ample?
Mm-hmm.
Ample storage. The grounds include a courtyard with a life-size chessboard, a Rapunzel tower, and gravel parking. Bonnie and Robert Palmer, alongside their daughter, built the castle from the ground up in the 2000s, with the space hosting its first wedding in 2010. Now the Palmers are ready to retire. Throughout the years, the castle and the couple have become a staple of the local community. They have hosted several themed events benefiting charities and local children and promoted historical education. In total, more than 30,000
$30,000.
has gone to local children in need and charities through the Palmer's nonprofit functions. That's what our events were. They were to benefit our community, Bonnie Palmer said. But who truly believes our community as the tender hearts of the people that live here, because it wouldn't happen if they didn't attend an event. Now, with the sale pending, a final event is scheduled as a way for the Palmers to say goodbye, raise money for a local baby, and introduce the community to the new owners. The castle will hold a mystery masquerade ball from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, October 10th. Bonnie Palmer described it as one of her simplest events, offering a dinner from Chef Roland Harney, music and dancing, and tickets are available online. But the event benefiting
Gideon Shenwark,
a local baby who was born prematurely and currently battling
Hydrops.
The event will also be a way for the Palmers to introduce the new owners to the community. With the sales still pending, the buyers are remaining private. Although the masquerade will be the last event put on by the Palmers, the castle will still provide the backdrop for the annual Monster Ball VIP event on August 16th. What'd I say, August?
It's okay.
On October 16th, put on by the Palmers real estate agency, Palmer's real estate agent, Austin McGee. Now there's a picture of Robert and Bonnie standing in front of the castle on a beautiful sunny day, just smiling at the camera, and the husband is wearing a blue patterned checkered shirt, and the lady is wearing a black shirt. I can't see it. They have letters on the shirt, but
there is a graphic that is out of focus for the camera.
Right. And this photo was taken by Marta Miez. For the past 23 years, the castle has been home for Robert and Bonnie Palmer, who accompany the Western Tower. Occupy. What did I say?
It's okay. Keep going.
Occupy the Western Tower. As the two enter retirement, Bonnie said it is emotional to enter a whole new phase of life. I love the castle. I'll always love the castle, Bonnie said. The couple will now move to Rogersville, though Bonnie said she is not planning to slow down any in retirement and expects to remain involved in the community through various betterment associations. With the experience writing several mystery dinner theaters she put on at the
chateau.
Bonnie also has her sights set on writing her own books, all about the castle and how the family built it. You know, people say they want to retire and do nothing. I cannot imagine, she said. But I'm not a sit-arounder and do nothing. I have to do something, and I love to write. I've been writing for years, but I've never published anything. I just did it for the castle. That's it. That article.
Nice. From the Springfield Business Journal, Mayor's Human Rights Commission charge examined by Springfield City Council. The article starts with a photo of Heather Hardinger and Mayor Jeff Schrag sitting at a table in a conference room. They are facing an audience with their nameplates sitting in front of them. Heather is speaking while Mayor Jeff Schrag is looking at a document in front of him, reading it. This photo was taken on July 20th, 2026. And this article was written by Karen Crago. Springfield City Council is considering a change to the mission of the now toothless Mayor's Commission on Human Rights. At its July 20th workshop meetings, Council heard a report on the proposed changes to the Commission, established in 1960 from Assistant City Attorney Joy Latimer. What is proposed is removing the Commission's obligation to investigate claims of discrimination. In her presentation, Latimer explained a 1990 decision by the Missouri Supreme Court that found the Springfield's Mayor Commission on Human Rights did not have the authority to issue orders regarding discrimination. The case, Yellow Fright Systems Incorporated versus Mayor's Commission on Human Rights, centered on Commission finding that an employee of Yellow Fright had been discriminated against. The Commission ordered Yellow Fright to rehire the employee and provided back pay. Yellow Fright sued, Latimer said, and the Missouri Supreme Court issued its ruling. Following the court decision, City Code was modified to remove the Commission's ability to issue orders, Latimer said, but the code retained language requiring the Commission to investigate discrimination complaints. Now, if a complaint is found to be valid, the Commission is required to try to mediate an agreement between the two parties, Latimer said. Prior to this case being decided, they had ability to issue orders, Latimer said, calling it a quasi-judicial commission. The Commission continues to receive discrimination complaints to this day, Latimer says, and its charge to mediate remains in effect. Despite the Commission being required to investigate these complaints, there was absolutely nothing requiring the company or individual being accused of discrimination from even participating or even acknowledging that there had been a complaint filed, she said. It's been a frustrating process. She said many complainants drop complaints upon learning that the details of their complaint would be subject to the Sunshine Law, making them available to the public. Very few investigations resulted in any sort of conclusion, Latimer said. There have been times that when a complaint is found to be valid, the Commission has referred to the State Commission on Human Rights, which does have the ability to issue orders. She said the Commission is in a half-in, half-out state, with the requirement to mediate, but without the ability to force either party to participate. Latimer offered some history of the Commission, which dates back to September 21st, 1960, visit to Springfield by Richard Nixon, then a candidate for U.S. presidency against John F. Kennedy. 2 members of Nixon's press corps were black, Latimer said, but the segregated Kentwood Arms Hotel, now Missouri State University Kentwood Hall, would have to make an exception. Its policy, I believe they meant to say in its policy, against allowing black guests in order to accommodate the candidate's entourage. The Springfield chapter of the NAACP made plans to picket the hotel, Latimer said, but the day before the scheduled visit, Kentwood Arms announced an end to its segregation policy, as did the Heer's department store on the downtown square. The change was likely in response to a capacity crowd attending a Springfield City Council meeting on September 19, 1960, to support establishment of a Mayor's Commission on Human Rights and Community Relations. The change being proposed for the Commission's return to its origins, Latimer said, with a focus on macro or community-wide needs rather than on micro or individual incidents. She said the original function of the Commission was to address the community-wide problem of segregation. Latimer said the proposal is for the Commission to serve 3 purposes: to provide community education, to complete special projects as assigned by the mayor, and to make recommendations to aid in the elimination of discrimination via the mayor. Latimer said the Commission could conduct surveys, collect data, compile reports, and work with partner agencies on discrimination issues. Councilmember Craig Hosmer said council should be able to offer direction to the commission. Latimer said she is still working on that. Councilmember Brandon Jensen pointed to a problem with relying on state commission to handle local discrimination complaints but not learning results of its actions. Councilmember Monica Horton pointed out there is no civil rights attorney in Springfield to her knowledge, and that specialty is required to do the job properly. In order for the commission's work to make sense, she said, that is the kind of expertise that is required. Councilmember Heather Hardinger, a former chair of the commission, said in the past the body asked as many legal authorities as it could find locally. She said the commission was looking for people who were willing to mediate civil rights cases, but that expertise does not seem to exist in the community. Hardinger said that commission is made up of citizens that want to help, but collecting data was the most powerful thing they could do given the resources they had. No actions were taken during the council workshop, a setting reserved for education and study.
From the Springfield Newsletter, Springfield Tenants Unite launches eviction court watch effort. This is by Marta Mias. For a year and a half, a proposed city ordinance that would ensure tenants have legal representation. Okay. During eviction proceedings has remained in a council committee with little to no discussion. To gather more data and narrative around the issue and place more pressure on elected leaders to move the I don't get voting words.
Madison, it is legislation. These aren't voting words. They're just words. It's okay.
It's just not words I say a lot.
That's okay. That's okay. You can learn.
Okay,
Legislation.
Forward. The local tenants union is using volunteers to monitor eviction court cases. Springfield City Council referred a draft of attendance council right to a council program to the Community Involvement Committee in February of 2025. The proposal was brought forward by councilman or councilman?
Either way.
Brandon Jensen, who had drafted a possible ordinance for his colleagues to review. Since then, the topic has been on the committee's agenda just once, at the January 2026 meeting. Springfield Tenants Unite, or STUN, so what does the N stand for?
Unite. UN, unite.
Because U is for unite.
Yes, and N is also for unite.
Ah, okay. Okay. Springfield Tenants Unite, or STUN, has advocated strongly for the program. The group also supported a rental inspection program, a pilot of which launched in the West Central neighborhood earlier this year. One of the challenges of the pilot, the union members mentioned, involves tenants not letting inspectors in due to fear of retaliation from their landlords. Frustrated with the lack of progress for the right to counsel and
legislation,
STUN is launching a volunteer effort to track and monitor eviction court cases and proceedings locally as a way to collect data and they'll be able to gather more examples of what takes place in courtrooms. Now there's a picture of where is this? A bar?
How about you read the caption really quick?
Jay Bird, the data leader and manager for the eviction court team for Springfield Tenants Unite, shares plans for how the group will monitor eviction court cases to gather more data to advocate for a right to Council
Council.
program in Springfield on Tuesday, July 21st of 2026. This was taken by Marta Miez, and it doesn't explain where they are.
Jay Bird is standing on in front of a podium as a spotlight is facing him, and there is a screen that says "What are we going to do?" standing up beside him as he speaks to a small crowd in what appears to be a
Oh, now that I look closer at it, it looks like a bar because I can see drinks in the background.
yes, a restaurant or a bar where they are able to gather and talk.
Right. Tracking court to build understanding. Right to counsel is seen as a way to correct the current imbalance in eviction courts, where most tenants do not have legal representation, but landlords do. If such a program is established in Springfield, the city would contract with one or more agencies to provide attorneys for tenants through several details. Though several details must still be worked out. The goal would not be to stop evictions altogether, but rather to crack down on wrongful evictions of tenants who currently don't have the representation or legal knowledge to fight. Since mid-May, a group of STUN members have tracked some eviction court cases taking place in Springfield and collecting data about the proceedings.
Ellie Fabro,
a student at Drury University and STUN's data collector for the Court Watch Initiative, said the group monitored 90 cases with tenants lacking legal representation in nearly 99% of those. At a STUN event Tuesday, July 21st, she shared other statistics and stories about what she had seen in the courtroom. Court decisions made in 5 minutes, single moms being evicted for late rent rent payments and beyond. What's with the parentheses?
they're referring to something that hasn't been said directly but was referred to and clarified previously. So in parentheses, it says right to counsel
has shown to lead fewer evictions. In turn, reduce homelessness,
in return, reduce homelessness,
and create stronger family stability and even cost savings for cities that
implemented it.
It provides tenants with a fair chance in court, and it also balances the scales of justice. Fabro said, we brought this to our city over a year and a half ago, and we're still talking about it today. Now, the group wants to expand this effort to gather more data, track a larger number of cases, and learn more how the cases play out in court. STUN is gathering volunteers to observe court proceedings, input data, and
Canvas.
Why is Canvas spelled with 2 S's? Is that another typo?
I believe it's a difference between the types of canvases.
Oh, so not like a painting canvas.
No.
Okay. Around eviction, quote, hot spots to inform their neighbors about what is going on. The goal is to observe at least 150 cases in the next 4 weeks. Jensen, who spoke at the STUN event July 21st, shared his own story about a wrongful eviction experience in 2015 and encouraged those in attendance to share their thoughts with the council at a large and highlight right to counsel as an important issue in hopes of moving it along in the process. Is that the same room?
Yes.
There's now a picture of Springfield Councilman Brandon Jensen speaking at a Springfield Tenants Unite event on Tuesday, July 21st of 2026 at Moontown Sound about the process tenants' right to counsel, and they must go through to be voted on by Springfield City Council. This was taken by Marta Miez. As I described the title of the picture, what the picture also looks like, Brandon himself, he's wearing a red buttoned up shirt with a name tag that's out of focus. His hair is neatly long and brushed, kind of curly. He's got glasses on, blue jeans, and he's making hand gestures as he's talking to the audience. And there's someone behind him that's out of focus. But she's got makeup on and blonde hair, but the rest of her is blocked off by the podium. Stun is hopeful that with more robust information about how evictions work in Springfield and observations of neighborhoods facing eviction in court, telling the story of why right to counsel is needed, will be easier and more effective. Okay. Sorry. Right to counsel programs already exist in Kansas City and St. Louis. In both cities, the initiatives are fairly new, with programs starting in 2022 and 2024, respectively. Yet, according to reports published by both cities on their programs, they have been making a meaningful difference for tenants. The most recent report for Kansas states that 68% of cases from September 1st of 2024 to August 25th of 2025 were resolved by dismissal. They were resolved by dismissal judgment for the tenant or settlement. Yeah. The annual report in St. Louis from August 2024 through July of 2025 stated that the Right to Counsel program had a direct financial impact of nearly $300,000 on renters at risk or facing eviction. This includes monetary judgment, attorney fees, late fees, and back rent avoided, negotiated reductions in the amount of rent or fees owed, a negotiated settlement, financial assistance obtained from third-party resources, and security deposits returned. Stun leaders noted that with the eviction being the leading cause of homelessness, a right to counsel is a way to prevent more people losing their homes and relying on other, far more costly resources that already struggle to meet demand. Council has heard nonprofit leaders who work in homeless services make similar statements that preventing people from falling into homelessness is more manageable than providing shelters and meeting housing needs after the fact. Now there's a picture of the same building for a third time, Moontown Sound, July 21st of 2026, Tuesday, and it shows another camera angle of members of Springfield Tenants Unite listening to a presentation about an eviction court an eviction court watch initiative the union is launching to gather more data to advocate for a tenant's right to counsel program in Springfield. And this was taken by Marta Miez. Committee process remains slow. The only time the proposal was discussed by the committee in January, the committee asked city staff to prepare a formal presentation on Pierre City
ordinances.
baseline landlord and tenant law, eviction data for Springfield, and functions on the proposed ordinance, according to the January 13 meeting minutes. Asked why the topic has not been discussed since then, Councilwoman Callie Carroll, who chairs the Community Involvement Committee, said via email that staff are working on a plan to address the issue more efficiently and effectively. Jensen, talking to the news leader on Wednesday, July 22nd, said the pace of discussions, especially for larger topics, is a challenge of the committee process as a whole. And typically, each committee meets for an hour on a monthly basis, which he says makes it harder for meaningful progress to happen quickly. Council members serve a volunteer capacity, meaning council committees often have to be balanced with full-time work responsibilities. I don't think this effort's just a victim of that lack of capacity at the council level to do the work that we need to be doing, Jensen said. Finally, as the chair of the Finance and Administration Committee, Jensen said he changed the schedule to allow for longer meetings and add additional meetings to, he's going to add additional meetings during some months to move along discussions. While he said the committee could be used as a, quote, model, it is ultimately up to the chair of each committee to set the pace. There are still discussions to have, questions to answer, and wrinkles to smooth out in the proposed right to council ordinance, Jensen said, noting he hopes that work can start in the near future. Oh, there are no quotation marks in that one.
Yeah, sometimes they put quotation marks.
It's fine. At least there are quotation marks in the next one. You know, every day that it doesn't get reviewed and talked about, that's 2 families on average that are one step closer to homelessness, he said. You can do it.
We are currently broadcasting live from the Blind Community Thrift Store situated at 2713 North Kansas Expressway in Springfield, Missouri. For additional information about our store, please visit our official website at www.blindcommunitythriftstore.com. To explore more of our video content, including movie reviews with Matt and Meredith, adaptive technology training videos, and other informative material, please visit our YouTube channel by searching for Blind Community Thrift Store. Our organization is dedicated to supporting the blind community through various initiatives, and our online platforms serve as valuable resources for community engagement and education. From the Springfield Newsletter, Leader, Midwest utilities seek to bypass competition for new power lines. Article written by Jana Rose Schless. Electric companies in the Midwest say new large-scale power lines are needed to get more energy onto the grid to serve big power consumers such as artificial intelligence data centers. Now the utilities argue reducing competition is the fastest way to do it. A group of 9 electric transmission utilities, including Ameren and Evergy, is asking federal energy regulators for the right of first refusal to build and operate new multi-state large-scale power lines. The group, called Grid Acceleration Coalition, filed a request with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, in April to exempt certain projects from competitive bidding process or to put it on hold for 5 years. If approved, utilities operating in both the Mid-Continent Independent Systems Operator, MISO, territory and the Southwest Power Pool, SPP, would be the default developer for any large multi-state transmission projects. Northeast and Mid-Missouri is situated in MISO territory, while the western part of the state and southern Missouri and some of southern Missouri's grid is facilitated by SPP. In their plea to federal regulators, transmissions, utilities stress how delays on infrastructure projects hurt progress. To meet spiking load growth, we must build the transmission needed to connect new large loads in generation, the request read. If we succeed, we will win the race to achieve dominance in artificial intelligence, AI, rebuild our nation's manufacturing base, and ensure we have the infrastructure needed to extract our nation's oil and gas resources. Davis Strobridge is Director of Regulatory Strategy for ITC, one of the largest transmission companies in the country. I do apologize. He said it can take 16 to 20 months to select a company to build a large-scale power line. We need rules and regulations that do things quickly and don't have red tape involved, and removing those solicitation requirements would absolutely do that, Strobridge said. But in recent months, a number of state lawmakers have spoken out in opposition. Legislators from Missouri, Iowa, Montana, Wisconsin, and Kansas have sent letters to the FERC urging the agency to deny the transmission company's request. State Senator Tracy McCree, a Democrat from Kirkwood, said she fears there would be no regards for costs if the utilities had the right of first refusal. She said halting the competitive bidding process would raise project costs that then get passed on to customers. Without competition, there would be no motivation for these investor-owned utilities to do things in an economical manner, she said. In a letter to federal energy commissioners, McCreary said infrastructure costs for transmission and distribution are the primary driver of her constituents' rising utility bills. McCreary writes that nearly a quarter of Missourians have unaffordable energy burdens, meaning they spend 6% or more of their household income on utility bills. We are putting so much strain on Missouri families, and we have to just say stop. Let's use some common sense, McCreary said. State Representative Ben Keithley, a Republican from Chesterfield, also sent a letter to FERC echoing McCreary's concerns. Faster and cheaper is the goal. More than a year ago, President Donald Trump declared a national energy emergency and made a new electrical generation and transmission infrastructure a priority. Transmission utilities say the project solicitation process to bid on and win the ability to build power lines delays grid upgrades and hurts the ability to get new power plants online. But consumer advocates and lawmakers say without competition, costs will increase. Prior to 2011, the transmission companies operating as a regulated monopoly in a certain area had the right of first refusal for building new transmission lines. A policy called Order 1000 changed that, opening up large-scale power line projects to a competitive process. Developers from across the country, as well as incumbent utilities, could submit proposals to win the project. In 2011, the environment we were in was a very low-load growth environment, and so we almost had the time to experiment with the policy, and it wasn't impacting our electrical grid, Strobridge said. Fast forward, obviously, we're in an unprecedented time. The demands that are coming that utilities are experiencing right now are almost incomprehensible. Paul Ciccio is chairman of the Electric Transmission Competition Coalition, a group advocating against the utilities' recent request. He said lobbying in state legislatures to reduce competitions has been intense in the MISO region. Because these same utilities couldn't get legislation in their home state, now they're petitioning the federal government to bail them out to help them and prevent competition, he said. The company's request before federal energy regulators state that electricity demand is increasing at a rate unseen since World War II, particularly in MISO and SPP. The transmission utilities request makes clear utilities want to take advantage of the current AI data centers development boom and build assets to facilitate the increased electricity demand, which they say the competitive project solicitation process hinders. Any purported benefits of solicitations, which are uncertain and at best small, are almost certainly overwhelmed by the cost of foregone benefits of AI development, the request reads. In an email to KBIA, Energy spokesperson Courtney Lewis said the current way the country goes about building large power lines hurts the ability to meet growing electricity demand and threatens the region's ability for economic growth. As one of the home utilities in the region, Evergy is well positioned to build transmission, Lewis said. We own and operate the local power grid that the line connects to, and we are staffed to monitor and quickly respond anytime there's an issue that can impact service to our customers. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission is expected to rule on the utilities request this fall. And that is the end of that article.
I don't have a lot of articles.
I know, that's why I have extra.
Can I borrow one of your articles?
That's why I have extra.
Yeah.
Can you read this one?
All right. All right. Uh. 417 Magazine, Things to Do This Week in Springfield, Missouri. This is by Terrence Shore McKee. Excuse me. The article starts with two people kayaking at Lake Springfield Park Boathouse and Marina on a Sunday, July 26th. Oh, wait.
You have it.
No, today's July 23rd. How can this be
From last year.
Oh, okay. Okay. July 26th of last year. Okay. It didn't say that in the picture, so.
Okay.
The kayaks are both blue, and the people in question is a guy and a girl. I'm not sure if they're boyfriend or girlfriend, but
we don't have to. We're just
but-
saying what's directly in the picture.
Okay.
Nothing implied.
okay. The girl, she's wearing a ponytail with red sunglasses and a black shirt, and she's holding an orange oar, and there's a guy next to her with a gray shirt on and a black hat with a white outprint, not outprint, a white imprint.
A white graphic.
Yeah, but it's out of focus. And they're both their smiles are out of focus, but they're paddling across the lake and having a good time.
Would you like to start reading?
Yeah. I'm just fascinated by how clean the lake looks. The sports fans among us are certainly happy this week. The FIFA World Cup wrapped up with an incredible finale. Congrats to Spain on the win, and specifically the wild finish. MLB is back after the mid-season All-Star break. The PGA Open crowned a winner, and Formula One heads to Budapest, Hungary. Yeah, Budapest, Hungary this weekend. If all that has you in the mood to catch a game yourself, it's a great time to head out to Route 66 Stadium and cheer on the Springfield Cardinals. The team kicks off a home series early next week. Meanwhile, summer is quietly shifting gears. The Ozark Empire Fair kicks off next week, and back to school is taking over everything, everywhere. Already? Yeah, already? But there are still plenty of long, sunny days left to enjoy. If you've been following my family road trip adventure, we're spending this week in Glacier National Park, my favorite place on earth. It's my kiddo's first visit, and somewhere in the ballpark of 24 for me. No exaggeration. Fingers crossed, they love it as much as Mom. Back home, the calendar features everything from an intro to kayaking class and movies in the park to the annual back-to-school bash, a British-style pub crawl on historic C Street, and the Ozarks Mills' biggest menu refresh ever. However you spend the second to last full week of July, here's to soaking up every last bit of summer. July 23rd, there's two things. First off is Suds for Sharks Trivia Night. This is going to be at the 4x4 Brewing. Another typo. They spelled it with a Y. They spelled company with an extra Y.
That's okay. 4x4 Brewing Company.
Fremont Hills at Nixa, and it's starts at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. It doesn't say how much it costs to get in there.
Then the implication is that it's free.
Okay. In partnership with the Wonders of Wildlife, Natalie Museum. Wait, did I say it right? Natalie?
Yep, that's what it says. Wonders of Wildlife, Natalie Museum,
And Aquarium, 4x4 Brewing Company presents a themed trivia night. Ooh, trivia. Put your knowledge of sharks and rays to the test while also learning more about them through crafts and activities. A portion of the proceeds goes back to SAFE. Sharks and rays? What's SAFE?
I don't know off the top of my head. I only know what the article is saying.
Also on July 23rd is an R-rated comedy at the Springfield Comedy Club. Administration is noted here. It's $14.50 $14.50 to $21. The show starts at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6 p.m. Let your hair down and plan an R-rated date night or friends night out for this special event. Settle in for a complimentary.
Settle in for a compilation
of the Comedy Club's favorite dirty, filthy, foul-mouthed comedians. Saturday, July 25th, first off is the Mumbles Mile, the USA edition. Located at Mumbles 1888. Huh?
Yeah.
Mumbles 888, and it starts at 12 p.m. Experience Springfield's version of
Mumbles 1888.
What'd I say?
888.
Yeah, 1888. 888.
800. It's 1888, so it's 1888 or 1888.
Okay. I was saying 888 like the year, you know. Anyways, yes. It'll start at 12 p.m. and where you can experience Springfield's version of the storied Mumbles Mile, where 26 pubs once stood side by side on a 1-mile stretch of road in South Wales. Start and end at Mumbles 1888, stopping for beverages from each participating bar and restaurant lining C Street. There's a back to school bash at the Springfield Expo Center, free to go, and it starts at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. A true one non-stop shop for Springfield Public Schools students and families. Get backpacks and supplies, hygiene items, groceries, and even
Immunizations.
All free. Families can also enjoy free lunch, live entertainment, and inflatables. Ooh, nice. Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte. Hey, that's my cat's name. Sorry. Thunder Ridge Nature Area, or not area, arena, and tickets start at $52, 6 p.m. Two iconic 2000s bands opening their 2026 tour. Heavy metal rockers Avenged Sevenfold are best known for songs including Hail to the King and Nightmare, while fans will recognize lifestyles of the rich and the famous from pop punk Good Charlotte. Movies in the park, and it'll be showing the Minecraft movie at Macaulay.
Yep, Macaulay Park.
At Nixa. It's free and it starts at dusk. Pack up the family along with plenty of snacks and some comfy blankets or lawn chairs for this free family event. Enjoy a nighttime showing of the wildly popular Minecraft movie, plus games and a giant inflatable slide before showtime. There's lastly, on July 25th, there's a luau at the farm at Cassidy Station at Estes Farms. It's a $2 admission, and it starts at 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Dress in your island best and head out to Cassidy Station for a family-friendly luau. Enjoy live fire performances, tropical cocktails and mocktails, live music, food, and more. Two things to do on July 26th. First off is tea time at the Marley House, located at Finley Farms, and administration is $35. Session 1 starts at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and session 2 starts at 2:30 to 4:30. Here, you can enjoy a traditional tea service in Finley Farms' historic Marley House, built in the 1800s and recently renovated. The service includes Phoenix Tea Company tea and sweet and savory bites. Plus, the bar will be open for additional purchases, ages 7 and up. Then there's Intro to Kayaking in Lake Springfield. Administration is $30, and it starts at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. If you want to get into the
Quintessential.
Ozarks pastime of kayaking but aren't sure where to start, this event is for you. An ACA certified instructor will teach basic paddle strokes and safety tips. Then participants will practice in the water. Open to ages 10 and older. Register by July 25. Finally, July 28th is Mahjong for newbies at the Cassidy Station at
Estes?
Farms. Administration is $35.
Admission.
Sorry, and
It's okay.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when it starts and finishes. And have you been wanting to learn how to play Mahjong? Come out and learn with other newbies while also making new friends and enjoying drinks from Cassidy Station. Additional class dates August 18th, September 15th, and October 14th.
From the Springfield News Leader, families joined panel shaping pediatric care in Springfield. Article by Janice Reeser. Springfield's Mercy with Mercy has launched a Patient Family Advisory Committee, PFAC, in Springfield to help shape pediatric services and improve the experience for families seeking specialized care closer to home. In its first meetings, members have begun providing feedback to leaders and providers involved in the partnership, according to a community announcement. The 6-member committee includes parents and community representatives whose experience reflect the challenges many Southwest Missouri families face when traveling to larger cities for pediatric specialty care. One member, Lauren Jones, said that her family routinely traveled to Kansas City and St. Louis so her brother, who has profound hearing loss and uses a cochlear implant, could see specialists. My parents frequently had time to take off work to take my brother to see specialists in bigger cities, Jones said in the announcement. Even as a child, I knew this was hard on my family. When I heard about the work Children's Mercy and Mercy, When I heard about the work Children's Mercy and Mercy are doing to enhance pediatric specialty care in Springfield, I knew I wanted to be involved. If I can provide any kind of perspective or advice that helps families who find themselves in similar situations as my family, I'll feel like I've made a difference. Jones is a clinic director of speech and audiology services at the MSU Collaborative Care Clinic, where she works with patients transitioning between healthcare services at Missouri State University and within the Springfield area. Children's Mercy with Mercy began recruiting advisory committee members in October after the organization announced plans to expand pediatric care across Southwest Missouri. The committee held its first meeting in April. The article is broken up by a photo of 5 women. From left to right are committee members Ashley Carden, Lauren Jones, Debbie Schwarzkopf, Chief.
I'm up. I'm up.
We have to be sitting up.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Chief Administrative Officer of Children's Mercy with Mercy, Shannon Nevins, committee member, and Stephanie Hohennessy, committee member. This photo was provided by Mercy. Families asked to help guide expansion. Debbie Schwarzkopf, Chief Administrative Officer for Children's Mercy with Mercy, said that the patient and family voices are essential as facilities and services expand. These groups ensure patients and their family members have a voice at the table, Schwarzkopf said in the announcement. Their experience and perspective are vital as we design and build pediatric clinic and expand our hospital services. The committee's responsibilities include educating the public about available pediatric services and providing feedback as the 2 health systems continue building out care options in Springfield. Members also are working on an online resource hub for pediatric patients and families. During my 30 years with Children's Mercy, I've had the privilege of working with several PFACs and seeing the impact their voice and their work have on the care we provide children, Schwarzkopf said in the announcement. Now that we're launching our very first PFAC in Springfield, I'm so excited to see how these families will help us bring the very best care to kids in our community. Committee members are Stacy and Dustin Atwood, Ashley Carden, Stephanie Hosney, Lauren Jones, and Shannon Evans. Partnership continues to add services. Mercy and Children's Mercy formally launched their pediatric care collaboration in August, according to the announcement. The goal is to improve coordination among providers, support local clinicians, and increase access to specialty pediatric services closer to home. Children's Mercy assumed management of several hospital-based pediatric services in November, including pediatric inpatient care, the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, Pediatric Surgery, Pediatric Emergency Services, and Pediatric Outpatient Procedures. The partnership also is developing the Children's Mercy with Mercy O'Reilly Pediatric Center on Mercy's South Campus in Springfield. A ceremonial beam signing event was held May 12th to mark construction progress on the 2-story, 40,000 square foot outpatient facility. When completed, the center will house Mercy Primary Pediatrics and Children's Mercy Pediatric Specialists in one location, according to the announcement. And that is the end of that article.
Hi.
Alright.
Ow.
Sorry, I just bumped the wall.
Which one do you want me to do?
This one.
The
No, this one. It's up here.
Oh, so the one that was already on.
Yes.
Cause no articles for me on the thing.
From the Springfield News Leader.
Yeah, sorry, I've just been gassy all day.
Let's keep reading.
Missouri tax-free weekend offers savings for savings for back to school shopping. This is by
Ahmed Jawadi. Right?
Yeah, I got it. Families preparing for the new school year will soon have an opportunity to save money during Missouri's 2026 back to school sales tax holiday. Excuse me again. Jeez, I'm sorry. During the annual 3-day event, shoppers in Missouri can purchase school supplies, clothing, computers, and other qualifying items without having to pay local and state sales tax. Here's what you need to know about this year's sales tax holiday. When is Missouri's tax-free weekend? Every year, the first Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of August are designated by law as Missouri's tax-free holiday. This year's holiday will begin at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, August 7th, and run through midnight on August 9th, which is on a Sunday. Who can make purchases during tax-free weekend? Anyone who makes a qualified purchase may participate in the holiday, regardless of whether they're a Missouri resident and or student. Do online purchases qualify? Yes. Eligible items purchased online in full during the holiday are
Exempt.
from state and local sales tax, even if they're delivered after the holiday. What is eligible during Missouri's tax-free weekend? According to the Missouri Department of Revenue, the following items qualify for the tax-free holiday. Clothing has a taxable value of $100 or less. Eligible clothing includes any article of apparel worn on the body, as well as footwear and disposable diapers for infants or adults. Cloth and other material used to make uniforms and or other school clothing are also included. There's also school supplies, and they will not be exceeding $50.
Can we read it
It-
as written?
Yeah, sorry. School supplies not exceeding $50 per purchase that are typically used for educational purposes. These can include textbooks, notebooks, paper, writing instruments, books, bags, backpacks, and art supplies, among other things. There is, also personal computers and computer
Peripheral.
devices that don't cost more than $1,500 each. These can include laptops, laptops, desktops, display monitors, keyboards, storage drives, printers, among other things. Computer software with a taxable value of $350 or less, and calculators and graphing calculators. Wait, did I say calendar?
Nope.
Regular calculators and graphing calculators that don't cost more than $150 too. What purchases are not eligible? There are a slew. They are a slew of items that are not exempt from state and local sales tax during the holiday. These include, but are not limited to, watches, sunglasses, jewelry, handbags, purses, scarves, phones, batteries, sports equipment, facial tissues, furniture, or fixtures.
And that is the end of that article. From the Springfield News Leader, changes are likely coming to Springfield trash recycling collection. Article by Marta Mies. Springfield trash and recycling collection system is likely to see some changes. The city revealed proposed revisions to the section of city code that governs trash services Tuesday, July 21st, which seek to improve collection services and information for residents while cutting down on nuisance and litter. The city has been reviewing the waste management system in the Queen City for more than a year. Studies conducted last year revealed nearly half of the waste sent to the Noble Hill Sanitary Landfill could have been recycled, yet cost and lack of awareness stand in the way of Springfieldians diverting their waste via recycling. As landfill use continues to increase, the city wants to improve trash and recycling collection overall, and a way to do that is by updating Chapter 94, the section of the code that dictates how trash and recycling collection works. Since the beginning of the year, city staff have held several public input sessions and held direct conversations with local haulers and industry representatives to explore ways to improve the system. Now the proposed changes that have come as a result of research and public feedback are ready for review. Here are the main changes being proposed. Minimum residential services required, limited overnight collection. The new code would require all residential haulers to provide a minimum level of service that includes weekly trash collection and bi-weekly recycling collection. Each week, residential collection would be required to occur on the same day for a particular address. According to the city's preview of changes, this would help residents know what level of service they can expect while still allowing individual haulers to offer additional packages and services. The changes would also limit overnight collection near residential areas. Collection within 100 feet of residentially zoned properties would be prohibited between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Limited exceptions would apply for mixed-use areas and during emergencies, weather events, and holidays. Occupied residential dwelling units would be required to have weekly trash service, which would give the city a clearer path towards addressing properties where trash is not being properly managed. Recyclable materials updates. All residential haulers would be required to offer curbside recycling for common materials such as tin, aluminum, and steel cans, mixed paper and cardboard, and plastic numbered 1, 2, and 5. While currently residential haulers are required to provide voluntary recycling services, this is not done so consistently across the community. The change would require haulers to offer a standard package of both curbside trash and recycling services. The change would also standardize the materials required to be collected for recycling. Even if the code is changed, residents will not be required to recycle. Number of residential haulers permits could be capped. The proposed code change would cap the number of permits issued for residential waste collection in the city with the intent of creating a more efficient system in the long term and reducing multiple trucks serving the same street. Currently, all solid waste haulers, both commercial and residential, go through the city's licensing process, per an email from Kristen Millam, City Senator's Communications Coordinator. The proposed change would create a permit issued by the Environmental Services Department that would allow to differentiate between the two. Existing haulers would be allowed to continue operating as long as they met code requirements. However, as residential haulers sell, consolidate, or leave the market, the total number would gradually decrease. Millam clarified the cap would be set at a predefined number and then lowered if a hauler left the market. City would publish prices of service. Under the revised code, residential haulers would be required to report the price of their standard services, both curbside waste collection and waste collecting with recycling, at least once each year, including all fees and subcharges. This pricing report would then be posted by the city on its website, along with the contact information and links to each hauler's website. Haulers will be able to update this information during the year at their discretion. Haulers will also be required to provide data to the city about the amount of waste and recyclable materials collected and where recycled materials were delivered. This practice would help the city better understand the waste system, plan future programs, and ensure that all materials collected for diversions are being recycled. Several changes crack down on litter. The code updates would also require trash and recycling to be collected in standard 96-gallon carts with tight-fitting lids that are clearly marked. According to the city overview of changes, this would reduce blowing litter, improve neighborhood appearance, and reduce contamination between trash and recycling by helping citizens differentiate between the two. The revisions would also clarify the residential solid waste must be stored in an approved carton and cannot be stored outside the cart. Exceptions would apply for bulky item collection and for trash services during Christmas time. Under current code, containers for solid waste are not standardized, and using plastic bags to store waste temporarily for collection is allowed. This also will go hand in hand with the requirement that haulers use fully or semi-automatic collection vehicles, both to improve efficiency and safety. The changes to code would also provide a way to enforce when waste loads are not properly covered or secured via an additional fee. This would help reduce litter from vehicles traveling to disposal or processing facilities. The city also this year launched a dedicated year-round litter cleanup to improve Springfield's appearance. The initiative is funded through an additional waste impact fee assessed per ton of waste delivered to the landfill. The full list of proposed changes can be found on www.springfieldmo.gov/trashcode. Comments will be collected via an online form through August 16th. Springfield City Council is anticipated to review a final proposed ordinance this fall, according to city news release. All right, and that is the end of that article. Madison, would you like to read this one?
Mm-hmm. Hang on.
From the Springfield News Leader, H2 Ozark launches efforts to reduce pollution in Lake Taneycomo.
Don't you just hate that when you're trying to yawn in the middle of a sentence? Sorry.
It's okay. How about we keep reading?
Dave
The mill.
sorry. A 16 the no not 16 6,000
A $615,000
uh uh conservation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's this one?
You were saying it earlier.
No, initiative in
Initiative.
okay. Will bring funding and volunteer projects and educational programs to the Lake Tanny watershed to help reduce pollution from runoff and erosion. Okay. H2 Ozarks, huh, nice, is launching the 3-year effort in Southwest Missouri, according to a community announcement. The project is designed to reduce non-point source pollution by helping landowners and communities, and keep nutrients and sediment out of local waterways. The initiative includes a cost share program for landowners who
Implement.
conservation practices, volunteer events focused on invasive species removal and litter cleanup, and workshops and educational resources that promote ways that residents can reduce population at home.
Pollution.
Or what did I say?
It's okay. Let's keep reading.
I meant pollution, not population.
It's okay. Let's keep reading.
Pollution's bad. This is an exciting opportunity to protect a critical natural resource, said H2O's president and CEO, Karen Love.
Mm-hmm.
Lake Taneycomo supplies drinking water, hydropower, and tourism to the region. By coming together as a community to reduce pollution and improve water quality together, we can help Lake Taneycomo continue to provide drinking water, wildlife habitat, and recreation into the future. H2 Ozarks received $234,000 from the Missouri Department of Natural Resources for the project. The remaining $381,000, I know my numbers, will come from H2 Ozarks and partner organizations, including the Soil and Water Conservation Districts of Christian and Taney counties, the city of Rockaway Beach, and the Missouri Department of Conservation. Project targets priority watershed areas. There's a clear view of a blue, is that a kayak or a canoe?
There's a photo taken from the kayaker's perspective of the tip of the blue kayak of Lake Taneycomo.
That's pretty.
Can you keep reading?
Yeah. The project focuses on 4 sub-watersheds identified in the Lake Taneycomo Watershed Management Plan 2024 as high-impact
areas for addressing non-point source pollution.
Upper Bull Creek, Fall Creek, Silver Creek, and Woods Fork. According to the announcement, the watershed faces pressure from nutrient and sediment pollution carried by runoff from farms and neighborhoods, as well as eroding stream banks. I meant stream banks.
It's okay. Let's keep going.
These
pollutants
can affect water quality for drinking supplies, recreation, and adequate
aquatic habitat.
Yeah. Residents, businesses invited to participate. Shoot.
Madison, keep reading.
The
Please.
time is 12.
H2 Ozarks is encouraging landowners, residents, volunteers, and businesses across Southwest Missouri to take part in the project through conservation efforts, volunteer opportunities, and educational programs. Additional information about the project and participation opportunities is available on the H2 Ozarks website at h2ozarks.org. Should I see
The
the
United States Environmental Protection Agency, Region 7, through the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, provided partial funding for the project under Section 319 of the Clean Water Act. That is the end of that article.
And that's the end of the show.
Can you read the outro, please?
That's what I'm doing, because thank you for listening to the Blind Community Thrift Store Radio Reading Service. Tune in every week, Monday through Friday, on the Blind Community Thrift Store's YouTube channel at 10 a.m. for more up-to-date news from the Springfield News Leader, Springfield Daily Citizen, Springfield Business Journal, and 417 Magazine. Listen after we are live on the Audio Reader Network at www.reader.ku.edu. All broadcasts are played over KSMU's subcarrier airwaves at 67 kilohertz on 91.1 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Contact Audio Reader Network for information on receiving a pre-programmed radio. I'm Madison.
And I'm Savannah. Thank you for listening.
Hope y'all have a good weekend.